Okay, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming here. This is the Assembly Select Committee on Community and Law Enforcement Relations and Responsibilities. And this is a informational hearing on body-worn cameras. I would like to thank all the committee members that are here today, including the Assembly members who are invited from Public Safety and Privacy, Consumer Protection Committees. I would also like to thank the presenters who have agreed to share the professional and personal experiences today on the issues surrounding the use of body-worn cameras. Let me make this very clear. I am in support of law enforcement using body-worn cameras. I believe our role as legislators is to provide support and encourage discussions that help these professionals get body cameras on every law enforcement officer in this state as quickly as possible. But ultimately, the decisions relating to implementation should be made at the local level. Some people adamantly believe that more surveillance is better. That surveillance will lead to better behavior and accountability, and there's some evidence that body cameras are an effective deterrent in police and citizen misbehavior. However, with increased surveillance, the importance to protect public privacy and maintain the integrity of law enforcement investigations cannot be forgotten. A study of body-worn cameras by the Rialto Police Department in 2012 found that in a single year, complaints against officers fell by 88%, and the use of force incidents fell 60%. A recent report released by the U.S. Department of Justice studied the use of body-worn cameras and found that cameras can help agencies demonstrate transparency and address the community's questions about controversial events. Among other benefits, the study found the presence of body-worn cameras have helped strengthen officer professionalism and helped to de-escalate contentious situations. When questions do arise following an event or encounter, police having a video record helps lead to quicker resolutions. Statistics also show that body-worn cameras lead to speedier resolutions in internal affair investigations, an increase in criminal prosecutions, a rise in defendant plea bargains, and greater officer professionalism and more public trust. Currently in California, the regions of Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Leandro, among others, have developed best practices for the local utilization of peace officer body-worn cameras, with more cities soon to be added to the list. Today, we'll hear from law enforcement professionals, chiefs, district attorneys, and labor groups on sound and practical internal policies that are already in place and how they are working. We will also hear from well-respected advocacy groups about the public sentiment around this issue and policies that will help promote public trust. We will be provided with a demonstration of the actual body-worn camera equipment. You will see how important this equipment works in the video it produces and how the video is downloaded and stored. The ultimate goals for today's hearing is to examine and discuss the use of body-worn cameras by law enforcement, including the capturing, downloading, viewing, length of retention, and storage of video footage, the best case scenario for what body cameras can do to improve relations between law enforcement and the community, the ability of officers to view videos for report preparation, court testimony, and internal affairs investigations, what should be recorded and what can't be recorded for legal reasons, impacts on labor and management, developing a policy and procedure for use and who should do that, the legislature or professionals, transparency of use, privacy, and Public Records Act request, what can be or should be shared with the public, and what legally can't be shared, the cost of implementation, including equipment, training, and retrieval of storage. I would now like to welcome any committee members who would like to offer comments before we begin. Mr. Quirk.
First of all, as Chair of Public Safety, we had some hearings discussing this earlier. I want to identify myself with the comments of the Chair. There's still a lot we don't know about this. I do agree that we should have local jurisdictions making their own policies. My one concern is the question of access. I'm told by people who've done this in Oakland that it basically takes an hour of an officer's time to release a minute of video because they have to protect the privacy of so many people that can be in the frame. So it's a very difficult thing, and how we handle access to this on the one hand, allowing proper access by the public, and on the other hand, not overwhelming local agencies. I'm just not quite sure what the right balance is or how to do it. I had a bill on this earlier in the year and decided I really didn't know where it should go. So I'm very anxious to hear what happens today in this hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hork. Anybody? Mr. Lackey?
Yeah, certainly. This is a very, very critical issue, and I think it's one that law enforcement welcomes. We know that there are many benefits to body cameras, both in the public interest and in carrying out the responsibility of enforcing the law. And the public trust piece is also very, very important, that we focus on that and that we make policy, though, that makes good sense, that is rooted in pragmatism and rooted in the respect of the rights of all people involved. And this is a very, very exciting discussion to have, and I'm grateful to be part of it.
Thank you, Mr. Lackey. Mr. Gibson?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Just want to say I'm delighted to be here. I'm not a member of the committee, but thank you very much at the invitation of our chair for allowing me to be here. I am a former police officer, and certainly with all the discussion around body cams, the pros and cons, I felt it was necessary for me to come and hear and see the demonstration that would take place. Again, as my colleague, who's a former Highway Patrol officer, Member Lackey, has indicated, there's both sides on both conversations on both sides, and I think this will protect not only the actual law enforcement officer, but also for anyone that law enforcement may come in contact with to show both sides. I was a former city council member for almost 10 years in the city of Carson, and certainly on one side where the individual said that something never happened. Carson was one of the cities who had a body cam. And so when the display was actually shown, it was a different story, and an individual recanted. But it could have turned out to be very tragic and very bad. And I think that this will show both sides on what actually take place. So I'm looking forward to a very robust conversation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. And we have a lot of committees going on, so you'll see members coming and going from the presentation. So just for information, to open our hearing, I've invited the body-worn camera manufacturer and distributor Wolfcam here today. Since 2011, Wolfcam has specialized in body camera worn technology for law enforcement. They supply over 300 law enforcement agencies with body cameras, distribute their products worldwide, but more importantly, they're the only body camera worn manufacturer based in California, out of Hollywood. Please welcome Peter Onrang, Wolfcom's founder, and Tiffany Wong, Wolfcom's CEO. Thank you, Mr. Onrang.
Right. We're going to go ahead and start first by passing out the body cameras to you guys.
Sure. And you're passing out body cameras you actually are being used right now in the field by law enforcement officers?
So good afternoon, and thank you for having me here. My name is Peter Austin Onrang, and I am the founder of Wolfcom. I have a saying, a belief, that if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then audio and video documentation is worth millions of dollars saved in litigation. The time for body cameras has come. We need them. Police officers and the public need body cameras to document their everyday activities. We need something that will be a third eye for law enforcement and for the public. Something, a body camera that will see and remember what you forgot. That will be the truth behind false accusations when he needs it the most. But where do you buy these body cameras? Online, on eBay, on the internet? No, you can't, because those body cameras are not designed for law enforcement use, and that's where Wolfcom comes in. We make body cameras specifically for law enforcement. And so I'd like to introduce to you our body camera, our vision for the future, the Wolfcom vision. Designed, assembled, tested, and shipped from Hollywood, California, our body cameras are designed specifically for law enforcement. And so I'd like to show you a short video of what this body camera can do. And the video starts with a gunshot. Excuse me.
Shots fired. They're pointing to the left. Come on with you. What's he wearing? What's he wearing? Stay together, stay together, stay together, stay together. What's he wearing? What's he wearing? Go slow, right here, right here. Coming down. Stay together.
So we call it the vision because it's our vision for how body cameras should be like in the future. So how should they be? Well, body cameras need to be configurable. Law enforcement agencies have their own requirements, and so they need a body camera that they can configure to fit that requirement. Body cameras need to be lightweight, comfortable, and mountable. Officers already are wearing over 30 pounds of gear on their belt, and the last thing they need is extra weight. And so to have a lightweight body camera is important to give that officer that comfort. Comfort is important when you're working and you're doing your duties. The last thing you want to worry about is being uncomfortable. And of course, your body camera needs to be mountable. You need to be able to place it on any part of your body, on any type of uniform, to try to achieve that comfort zone. Body cameras also need to have a rotatable camera lens, because the last thing you want is to invest in a body camera and record only the sky or the ground. You need to be able to adjust that camera lens so that it's aiming right in front of you where you want it to go. Body cameras, of course, most importantly, have to be easy to use. Officers don't have time to fumble with switches and buttons. They need to be able, under a stressful condition, to activate the body cameras and deactivate it easily. Body cameras, in our opinion now, need to be more than just a body camera. They need to be multi-purpose and multifunctional. They need to actually be used as a tool that an officer can use in his everyday duties, whether it's taking photos of crime scenes, bodily injuries, or vandalism. So we try to design our body cameras to be multifunctional and multi-purpose. Security is important also. The chain of custody must be protected. That means that you cannot have a body camera with a removable SD card. An officer shouldn't be able to remove the SD card and delete files and stick it back in. And likewise, if that body camera is lost and the public was to find this body camera, they shouldn't be able to access the files. Body cameras also have to be future technology ready, and the reason why is because technology is moving at a fast pace, and so you don't want to make an investment only to find out that your body camera is already outdated. So they need to be able to be future technology ready, able to accept technology that is either in its infancy stage or hasn't been invented yet. Also, you need body cameras to have pre-record buffering, the ability to reach back in time and record the first 60 seconds or more before activation of the camera occurs. And also, body cameras should also have an optional public awareness system, a way to alert the public that they're being recorded, and that promotes good behavior. A body camera should also have, for the future, a two-camera system, and I'll cover that in the next few slides. So I'd like to show you the vision on the screen. Now that is the Wolfcom Vision in its entirety. It can record over 17 and a half hours of continuous, nonstop audio and video recording. And this is perfect for those that require a long shift. But in our research and feedback from fellow officers, what we've discovered is that majority of the officers don't need that much time recording. They only need basically just 2 hours of recording time. And so we configured our body cameras so that you can actually eliminate that extra weight, that battery pack. And if you look on the screen, that's what you end up with. Something that's only 2.2 ounces connected to your glasses. And that will give you 2.5 hours of additional battery life without the battery pack. Now, if you look at the way it works, our body camera consists of two cameras. One that's mounted on the glasses, which is a primary camera, and the second is the camera that's mounted on, built into the main unit, which is a secondary camera. And these two cameras work together for a new technology, which we call critical reconnect. Now, what is critical reconnect? Well, it reconnects at the critical moment. So the Wolfcom Vision, it works on a two-camera system. The primary headset camera records the main event, and a secondary onboard camera acts as emergency backup. So in an event, the camera is ripped away during a fight or struggle with the suspect, the secondary camera will resume recording of the audio and video. And I'm going to play a short clip just to show an example of the advantages of critical reconnect.
Hey, sir. What are you doing there? You know you're trespassing? Let me see your hand. Turn around. Let me see your hands behind your back. Hey, drop the knife. Drop it or I'll shoot. Drop.
Critical Reconnect records the rest of the incident, so you don't have to spend millions proving the truth in court. Now, the Wolfcom Vision is a 3-in-1 multifunctional device. Built into each unit is a video camera, a digital camera, and a voice recorder packaged into one tiny perfect unit. The Vision is smaller than a business card and smaller than a credit card. It has 1080p high-resolution recording. That's at GoPro quality. In fact, we use the same chip as GoPro for our body cameras. It only weighs 2.2 ounces. As a video camera, the Wolfcom Vision can record and store up to 36 hours of video. As a digital camera, it can take and store up to 56,000 photos. And as a voice recorder, it can record and store up to 360 hours of audio. We feature a rotating camera lens that an officer can adjust according to his height or stature. Now, in this photo collage, I'll show you exactly what you can do with the Vision, how you can configure it, wear it on your body, and the things you can do with it. So we start out with the box in green. You could use the Vision as a standalone unit and clip it onto your chest. You could rotate the lens and clip it onto your shoulder epaulette for the above-the-shoulder view. You could also wear it on your belt and rotate the camera lens upwards. If you're using a secondary primary camera, you can actually clip it onto your glasses for that point of view video perception. You could take that same camera and you can clip it onto your shoulder, and that's exactly what I have in the example that I'm wearing right now. And that gives you the above-the-shoulder view, and it's ideal for officers who want something that's above the shoulder but doesn't want the uncomfortable feeling of having something on their head. For those that desire point-of-view recording, but they don't wear glasses or sunglasses, we also offer headsets that can connect to the body camera as well. For those that require night vision or a low-profile look, we have our night vision camera, and it connects into the pen pocket of the officer, and that will give an additional 20 feet of recording in pitch-black darkness. The Vision can also be used as an in-car dash camera, replacing those expensive $5,000 dash cams by clipping it onto the windshield visor of your vehicle. As a voice recorder, it's perfect for recording interviews with suspects or people who are camera shy. You can connect it to a docking station in the patrol car to charge and transfer data files to the management system. And also, our newest thing, you can connect it to our telescopic monitor and use it as a bomb camera to search for bombs underneath vehicles, or to stick it up in an attic when you're searching for a suspect without placing a canine or an officer in harm. Now, I'd like to go a little bit more about external cameras so you can understand them much better. We have the eye vision here, the head vision, the night vision camera, and the covert vision. And all these cameras can be plugged into the Wolfcom Vision and utilize the same critical reconnect technology. The eye vision can connect to the glasses, the collar, the cap or helmet, rifle or shotgun. The head vision can be worn on the head comfortably, and as you can see in the picture here, he has the headset connected to the Vision that's on his chest, and the critical reconnect feature will still work. In the event that that headset gets ripped away, the main unit, the main body camera will resume recording of the audio and video. We also have night vision. Like I said, it gives you, an officer, the ability to have that low-profile look, but also night vision. It can see up to 20 feet in darkness. And you could also clip that Vision onto your belt. For undercover officers or private investigators, we also include the Covert Vision pinhole button camera. Basically, it replaces the buttons on your shirt so you can take covert recordings. Our Wolfcom Vision is also the first body camera in the world to feature a flashlight and a camera flash. Now, what's the benefit of flashlight? Well, we envision a nighttime traffic stop where an officer is standing by the driver's door window. With the flashlight, he can illuminate the interior of the vehicle, therefore blinding the people inside, giving him a safe tactical advantage. It would also illuminate the interior of the vehicle, also light up a citation book. And most importantly, it will keep his hands free. In the event of they pulled out a weapon, he can slap that weapon away and reach for his own.
Wolfcom Vision can be mounted on the shoulder, on the chest, and on the belt. And the point of view external cameras can be mounted on the hat, on the eyeglasses, on the collar, or in the pen pocket. And a pinhole button camera can covertly be mounted here, inside the uniform. On the flashlight, just push this button right here.
So we also have something called advanced pre-record, the ability to go back 60 seconds all the way up to 30 minutes from the time the officer activates the camera. And the reason why we made it 1 minute to 30 minutes is because 60 seconds is simply not enough. And the reason is, case in point, last year, NYPD officers was attacked by a man with an axe. It was out of nowhere where they attacked him. Now, in this situation, had they been wearing body cameras, the last thing on their mind would be to activate the body camera. They'd be trying to survive, stay alive, trying to call for backup, trying to reach for the weapon. And so, in an instant like that, 10 to 20 minutes may elapse by the time the situation is under control. And after 20 minutes has passed, the suspect's either dead or apprehended. The officers may be in the back of a paramedic's van being attended to when his fellow officers come up to him and say, hey, we're glad you're safe. Did you activate your body camera? At that point, when he does, he only captures the first 30 seconds. So in our opinion, 30 seconds is not enough, and we feel the body camera should have the ability to have pre-record buffering time from 60 seconds to 30 minutes.
Question for you, Mr. Owen Rang.
Sure.
I know you have more units, and I want to welcome Assemblyman Gallagher, who just joined us. Is it possible to pass one or two of these units out to the audience so the folks in the audience can see them? I know this is my first time handling one. And we've also joined by Member Rodriguez. Any comments, Mr. Gallagher or Mr. Rodriguez? I know you're on the spot now. But thank you for joining us.
Thank you for bringing this meeting forward. I'm sure we have a lot of information here to learn from and work together on this as we see this as a trend going with the body cameras throughout the state of California. So thank you very much for bringing it together, Mr. Cooper.
Thank you.
Just briefly, I'm here to listen and learn. I want to, hear more about how the body cams actually work, what they do capture. At least one concern that I've heard from some of my officers is that, certainly having body cams will help with, some greater transparency, and so you can see exactly what occurred. But, a digital image doesn't always capture what the human eye and the human experience captures in that moment. And I know from a lot of my officers, there's a whole lot of different things that are going on in the moment other than just what might be seen on the camera. Something I'd be looking for is like, how does that capture the full context of what might have happened in a particular event? Definitely interested in that. And so thank you guys for being here today. I appreciate this information. I think it's vital that we hear from everybody involved with this issue so that we can really make informed decisions about policy going forward.
Thank you. And we're also joined by Assemblymember DeBobney. Would you like to make a comment or?
Thank Assemblymember Cooper for helping to put this together. Obviously, this is something that affects every one of our communities. I've been very impressed by some of the recent dialogue and conversation we've had between law enforcement and also groups that really care about privacy and protecting our constituencies. And I look forward to having a rational policy that comes out of this that makes our communities safer and also makes sure that law enforcement has an ability to do their job, which is protecting us. So thank you so much.
I know you made a comment earlier about the video being able to access it, a minute prior to something happening. Because I realize with the in-car cameras, if you're involved in an automobile accident, they can go back and rewind that even though it wasn't on and actually record that. So that's interesting. So you're able to go back once it's activated. But if it's never activated, can you retrieve that information?
You can retrieve that information. So once you activate your body camera, it's actually recording in the background continuously. So once you activate your body camera to begin the recording, it will then save the previous 60 seconds to 30 minutes of recording and include it with that video.
So once you activate it, it can go back up to 30 minutes?
Yes.
As long as it's activated?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And with or without audio. So departments have the choice to configure it without audio as well.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So there are actually 3 ways to tell if a body camera is recording. And this is very important to officers from our feedback that we received, is that sometimes under a stressful condition, they want to be able to tell or know if it's recording. They need this confirmation. So there are 3 ways to tell the camera is recording. One is physically, visually, and with vibration confirmation. So because we put switches on our body cameras, an officer can physically feel that the switch is down, and therefore he would know that it's on and recording. Another way is if you look on the top of the unit, right here where I'm shining the laser, we actually put an LED light there that's deep down inside, so an officer can look down and see that the light is on, therefore confirming that video recording is on. And that same light cannot be seen by the public at night, thereby not giving away his position at nighttime. Another way is by vibration. So when you activate the unit, it will vibrate to alert you that recording has activated. And when you deactivate the unit, it will also vibrate as well. It will also vibrate when the battery is low. We have something new called the public awareness light. And basically, I'm wearing it right now. And so the public awareness light is designed to promote good behavior, to alert the public that they're being recorded. So this public awareness light, this recording light here, it comes on during recording. And an officer or department can configure it to stay steady on when it's recording, to flash when it's recording, or to never come on at all. And we know that most officers in the United States prefer not to have this record light on because they don't want a bullseye on their chest at nighttime. But this feature is popular in other parts of the world. And that's called the public awareness light. There's 4 new technologies. I know I've already covered 2, which is Critical Reconnect and also the future technology ready. But I'd like to cover something which we call AVD, Anti-Video Deactivation Technology. So if you look at that switch there, that's what we call the OTR switch. And the OTR switch, OTR stands for One Touch Record. So in normal operations, an officer would just press that switch down, the unit will power on, and will begin recording audio and video. And then to stop recording, all he has to do is just flick that switch up. However, what if he was to get into a fight or struggle with the suspect, and during that struggle, that switch got bumped up? Then the unit will power off. So we have something called AVD. And if you enable AVD on the unit, then the switch will actually work a little bit differently. You can still activate it by pressing switch down, and the unit will begin recording audio and video. But then to power off the unit, you'll have to press the switch up, down, up, and the unit will power off. And that's AVD, anti-video deactivation. Our body cameras also use something called nanotechnology. We instead of making our body cameras mil-spec, mil-spec's rating makes our cameras more heavier and more expensive, and what we want to do is lower our costs and make our body cameras lighter. So we utilize nanotechnology, which is a special coating over our cameras. And basically what it does, it protects them from water, dust, and humidity. It's perfect for rain or rainstorm. And it eliminates the need for the expensive mil-spec rating. I covered future technology already, and a good example of future technology is the ability to remote view. The ability for commanding officers at the station to log in and view live remotely what is going on from an officer's camera on the field as things happen. So we feel that remote view is going to be a requirement in the next few years. But our body cameras is ready for remote view now. It's it's capable of allowing third-party devices, such as maybe a tablet or a cell phone, to connect to it to stream out that live images, and it's ready right now. Now, badge numbers. Body cameras need to have an officer's badge number stamped onto the date and time stamp, onto every video file, frame by frame, and picture by picture. So the ability to put badge numbers on a video is very important, and that's what we can do also. The unit is also password protected. So this means that if the unit is lost by the officer and retrieved by the public, they will not have access to the files. The last thing you want is something uploaded on YouTube. And also the officer who's using a body camera won't be able to delete the files himself. We also have a new technology called GPS Direct. It's not exactly new. We've had it on our body cameras for a couple years already. But GPS Direct technology basically is our units have a GPS sensor that you could add to it. And the GPS sensor, it communicates with satellites in space, and it will stamp the GPS coordinates of that body camera onto every picture file and video file, frame by frame and picture by picture. And the benefits of that is that when you're reviewing video on our management software, you'll be able to see a map next to the video, and as the map plays, as the video plays, so does the map. And let's say if it's a foot pursuit and an officer's chasing someone, the dot on the map will move with it, showing you the exact route taken as footage of the chase took place. Another good thing about having GPS Direct is that in the event of a pursuit, a foot pursuit, for example, when an officer is chasing down a suspect over alleys and through streets, the last thing he wants is to take his mind or his eyes off the suspect. But what if that suspect begins to throw drugs or weapons on the ground? Well, an officer doesn't want to try to memorize the location of those drugs or weapons. He wants to keep his eyes on the suspect. So with our GPS Direct, all an officer has to do is just press the center button on our body camera, the V button, and it'll basically capture the GPS coordinates of that location. And that way, after the chase is over, they can retrieve that GPS coordinates, go back, and find those discarded items.
Mr. Chairman?